I will call this, what the hell is going on here? And Raphaelson extended. Medical people can never give you advice because it's always wrong, because of the bias called Upton-Sinclair bias. They're sincere, want to do things, but the answer must be in you. Here is another problem, which I will call, it's called exercise. So I'll get this set.
Has anyone ever looked at you like this? If your answer is yes, don't worry. They're not mad at you. They just have bad eyes, like me. That's why I trained my eyes for 30 days to show you whether eye exercises and a special tool could fix that. In today's life, there are 3 things that affect our eyesight in a negative way. Number 1, the electronic devices we have around us 24/7. We look at our smartphones and computers for many hours a day. That way, we train our eyes to get used to that particular distance. Number 2, spending the majority of our time inside. According to the EPA, the average American spends 93% of his life inside. And the average room is less than 20 square meters. It's like putting our eyes in a cage. Imagine if I gave you these weights to train with, only these. And after 1 month of training, I would challenge you to lift these heavier weights. That would be impossible. Number 3, we don't move our eyes properly. When was the last time you looked at something without moving your head in the same direction? Right, you may not remember because we usually don't. Well, maybe because you would look like a creep. But without movement, there is less blood flow in your eyes, and every body part that is not well perfused with blood will degenerate. Anyway, when I was 17, I had to take an eye test for my driver's license. And what a surprise, I failed. Basically, because I'm blind in my left eye, and 43% blind in my right eye. I don't see much of nothing. The moment I put on my glasses for the first time, I felt like, is this real life? Unfortunately, I hate wearing glasses. A long time ago, I heard about eye exercises, but was always too skeptical and too lazy to give it a try. Well, eye surgery would be another option, but hey, that's too easy and too expensive. Hey, bro. That's why I have no other option but to start training my eyes. To see any difference, I have to take an eye test before and after the challenge. So here are the results. Minus 2.0 diopters on both eyes before the challenge. Let's hit the workout. The training itself is quite easy. Sit down and make yourself comfortable. Warm up your eyes by blinking for 30 seconds to oxygenate and moisten your eyes. Then intensify the blinking for another 30 seconds. The next few minutes focus on something.
Eye exercise don't work. I don't know what I mean by work. He says a quarter diopter. I have a quarter diopter lens. It's like plate glass. The only real change you get is if you measure yourself. And if you use Steiner's method. At 4 diopters, that's 10 inches, you push the stuff away and you'll find a point where it starts to blur. That's objective. It's not all that accurate, but it's objective because you made the measurement. So that's how you figure out. I did this when I was about 13 years old from a course in physics. So I was minus 4 diopters. At that point, I was too far gone to do anything. I make no claims of success. However, I gave up. I mean, I knew I'd had it. After I talked to Raphaelson, I knew I'd had it. But Raphaelson had something. Imagination, insight, and good judgments. but a recognition that children are ignorant. I was ignorant, certainly as a child. Whether you can have a child, I don't know. Only Jeff and Ruth Wong helped their children by getting rid of the close work while they have 2020, which is the only thing I will talk about, except for you and an eye chart. I have my eye chart. TOZ is 2070. PDC is 2060. And this exerciser has an eye chart, but he never marked it or checked anything. He went to an optometrist to have it measured, which doesn't count at all. Those phoropters are deadly. They don't measure accurately. So you're doubly deceived by doing it. I'm not trying to be harsh on Joey Allen, but he's an optometrist. He's not really concerned about anybody's visual welfare, including his own. Now, I make refractive measurements because I'm an engineer. I learned how to do it, and I have the equipment to do it, but they're all objective. The same thing that Steiner does, except I do it at -1 diopters. If you use Steiner's method at 1 diopter, it doesn't work because you don't have a point of blur. That's why if you're really going to do this, you get simple test lenses. Gain the expertise of measurement as I'm doing it, and commit to wearing a plus for basically years. Or until you get better than 2020. But it's highly personnel, objective, and you've got to know what you're doing, and you must want to do it. So that's Todd Becker and Steiner. Are there risks in taking responsibility? Well, if there are, I take them. I still go for checks for glaucoma and so forth, true medical problems. But a refractive state is never medical. It's only in your mind, it's medical. When I measure, it's not medical, it's engineering science. Where you might go with this, I don't know. People are lazy, basically. They want something that's easy. They don't have to think. They can do exercise and get results. Half diopter, meaningless. For example, the eye has the power of 60 diopters by any standard. That's a normal eye, refractive state of 0 approximately. 1% of 60 is 6/10 of a diopter. That's extremely high levels of accuracy. That means you probably can't measure more accurately than that over a few days, which means you got to measure your own Snellen with great persistence. Only then can you say I've improved by half Doppler, which is what I did. And this is after I was at 2060. If you don't have that time to resolve scientific engineering mind, know what you're doing, make objective measurements, you're not going to succeed. So cataract surgery got me to 2060, and then I did the plus method of Raphaelson. There's really a division between engineering science and optometry. It's not so much that they're wrong, but the whole profession's biased. They think everybody is incompetent except themselves. And that does irritate me. If I'm working with somebody, I expect to make measurements. He can give me advice, but all measurements must be objective and I must make them with my own test lenses. Next time, I don't think optometrists actually do measure themselves. There's no indication that they do. I ask Lamsight, and apparently not. It means your own test. You're holding lenses up and you measure yourself. And they do all measurements by a retinoscope, which is third party and not objective. So that's why I call my measurements objective. And if anybody wanted to do what I was doing, that's what they would do. So again, I only wish I had the opportunity to do this when I was at 2040, and that's TOZ or PDC on your stomach. But even that there, you've got to mark them with the big 2060, 2040. So if you're really going to do this, that's what you would do. I also have use a Snellen, put a Snellen letter on a cell phone, and you could use that. But if you can't sign up for long-term plus wear, you're not going to accomplish anything. As far as exercises goes, it's will of the wisp. I don't agree with Joey Allen, but he certainly likes to trash exercise. Matter of fact, he likes to trash the whole idea of prevention when you're 2040, and that is what I object to, because it is possible in the 2040 to 2060 range. But what you decide to do is because you're an engineer or scientist and know how to do optical measurements yourself accurately. And I do mean handheld test lenses, minus lenses and plus lenses. That's real expertise. But the real leader is, of course, Rupa Wong, because it keeps their eyes at 20 inches. That's half a diopter, half 0.5 meters, minus 2 diopters. That means they'll probably keep their 20/20. Doing that is the same thing as wearing a plus lenses for close work. The same thing. You have 20/20 and you're wearing a plus lens to make sure you don't enter nearsightedness. I modify that, say I would agree 2040 is very close. So if you're in the order of 2020 to 2040 and had great personal resolve, like you're a pilot, then you go change by half diopter and get back to 20/20. Or more importantly, self-measured positive refraction. And that's expecting a great deal of intelligence, insight, motivated from you, which I think you probably do not have. It's up to you. Add your own commentary and thank you.